Maybe all of you guys can come to Dagestan and we celebrate together.
You won't believe what went down at this UFC press conference. Jack Della stood there like someone had just told him that Islam Makhachev trained with his shadow, and now even the shadow can defend takedowns. From the very first moment they made eye contact, Jack looked so tense you'd think he was about to come up with a medical reason to postpone the fight at any second. You'll immediately notice who walked in here with real confidence, and who's just pretending.
Last week you did an interview and you said you felt it was your job to put Islam in his place and show that he would never be good at welterweight. So after being around him and facing off, does he look like an actual welterweight when you face off with him?
Yeah, it's a big challenge. I'm looking forward to it, and it's my time.
Oh boy, if insecurity were its own fight class, Jack would be the undefeated champion. The reporter basically asks him, "Bro, does Islam even look like a welterweight?" And Jack responds with a shaky motivational calendar quote, "That doesn't sound like a man ready to put Islam in his place. It sounds like someone desperately trying to convince himself he's not going to be fighting for his life in 48 hours. And that I'm looking forward to it." Brother, no one believes you, not even your own blood pressure. Jack stands there like someone who just realized during the face-off that Islam isn't simply a real welterweight. Islam is a problem, a fully loaded backpack from Dagestan filled with wrestling, patience, and an unbelievably calm nervous system. And you can literally see Jack trying to keep his voice steady, as if he's thinking, "Please don't ask anything difficult. Well, I forgot my script."
And have you allowed yourself to envision wrapping a second belt around your waist in Madison Square Garden?
This is my dream, and I'm like very close to my dream. All my professional career, when I was lightweight champion, my dream to become double champion, and 2 more days.
Question for Whaley.
Interesting. Jack was just talking big about putting Islam in his place. And then Islam answers with the calmness of a man who doesn't think he'll become double champ. He knows it's happening. This guy talks about the second belt like it's already packaged, labeled, and on its way to Dagestan. No shaking voice, no hesitation, no overacting, just that deeply relaxed conviction that would make anyone like Jack nervous. While Islam speaks about his dream like he's explaining a math equation, you can't help but wonder, what must that feel like for the man who's facing him on Saturday? Where Jack earlier looked like someone trying to act tough, Islam sounds like someone who already decided how the night ends. You can see how this answer makes Jack sink a little deeper into his chair. One man talks about visions, the other talks about certainties.
Michael Bisping told me he believes you have probably the best boxing in the UFC. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, this could have been Jack's moment. The reporter hands him a gift straight from the self-confidence department. Bisping says you have the best boxing in the entire UFC. And what does Jack give back? Yeah, I think so, with the energy of a student unsure if he just gave the right answer in class. Normally, a fighter would explode here. Of course I have the best boxing. I put everyone to sleep. But Jack says it flat, careful, like he's afraid Islam might suddenly appear behind him and say, "Brother, really?" He sits there like he doesn't even believe the reporter's claim himself. No spark, no conviction, no pride, just a quiet, forced nod. And that reveals more than a whole speech about his skills ever could. You can see how much he knows that good boxing is nice. But against someone like Islam, it might mean absolutely nothing.
Islam, what do you think? You fought some very good boxers. Is Jack the best, you think, going into this fight?
Oh, guys, what do you think? I don't know, All fighters have good striker. Yeah, Jack one of the best, and I'm also a good striker. Let's see who is better.
This is the moment Islam shows why he's a nightmare for so many fighters. He's asked directly if Jack is the best boxer he's faced, and instead of giving a dramatic answer, he throws out this small, almost playful gesture. Guys, what do you think? It doesn't sound like respect. It sounds like a man who knows the question doesn't even matter. He politely says, Jack is one of the best. But the way he says it, like he's talking about the weather, zero pressure, zero excitement, zero emotion, just pure Dagestani chill. And while Islam stays completely relaxed, Jack sits there like someone praying no one digs deeper into the boxing comparison. Islam isn't underestimating Jack, but he doesn't show a single hint that Jack's punching power worries him. Not one. He immediately puts himself on the same level so effortlessly. You'd think this was just the warm-up chat. Let's see who is better. But it sounds less like a question and more like a quiet warning. We both know how this ends.
And another one for you, Islam. I know you have the belt in front of you now, but you are technically the challenger coming into this fight. How is your mindset different, challenging for a belt as opposed to defending it?
First, what?
Говорит, что перед тобой сейчас тоже есть пояс, но в принципе ты в этом бою как претендент. Какие ощущения?
I feel I'm still champion, man. I don't lose my belt to anyone, and I just coming to get second one.
This is pure gold. The reporter tries to corner Islam psychologically. Technically, you're the challenger. Does that feel different? And Islam? He responds with a what? So dry it completely erases the question. The man doesn't even understand the idea that he's anything less than champion just because the belt is sitting on the table instead of around his waist. Then comes the line that hits like a liver kick. I feel I am still champion, man. I don't lose my belt to anyone. That's not trash talk. That's not performance. That's raw, unfiltered self-belief. The kind you can't fake. The kind you live. He says it casually and like he's talking about a cup of coffee, and that's exactly what makes it uncomfortable for Jack. Islam doesn't talk about how tough the fight will be. He talks like the outcome is already written. I'm just coming to get my second belt. Not trying, not hoping, getting. Meanwhile, Jack sits there with the posture of a man realizing his opponent lives in a mental universe where doubt doesn't exist.
This is the first time in the United States that you're actually not being booed, but instead everybody's rooting for you. First of all, are you surprised with such a reception? And second of all, do you think it's because they finally understand how great you are? They know your greatness.
Thank you, all of. Thank you everybody who coming today, and really happy to fight in biggest arena in the world. And when the whole crowd support you, is the biggest day in my life. Thank you.
And this is where the whole arena basically decides to make Islam an honorary New Yorker. He's asked how it feels to not be booed. And bro, you can see it hit him. Not like a punch, but like a I finally feel at home moment. His smile, his small hesitation, that soft thank you all. That's not PR. That's real. He actually looks touched. And while Islam thanks the crowd like he's accepting a Grammy, you look over at Jack, and he suddenly seems even more invisible. Jack was already carrying that nervous, bottled up energy, but now, it's ironic, Islam gets celebrated, Jack gets ignored, and that becomes extra weight on his shoulders. Psychologically, Islam hits a full combo here. Surrounded by support, he looks stronger than ever. And Jack, he's no longer fighting just Islam, he's fighting Madison Square Garden too.
Question for Islam. With a win this weekend, you tie the longest UFC win streak and become double champ. After this fight, should you be considered the greatest of all time?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm not thinking about this right now. I'm thinking about the belt, and I know I spent all my life for just be champion, you know. And now it's I close to the dream right now.
And here comes another classic Islam moment. The reporter hands him the biggest title imaginable, GOAT, the three holiest letters in MMA. Any other fighter would have turned this into a speech, maybe tried a McGregor moment. Islam, he shrugs and basically says, brother, I just want the belt. This humility isn't an act, and it's that ice-cold focus that rattles opponents. He doesn't think in legacies, not in GOAT lists. He thinks about one thing, the man standing across from him, and that's the part that unbalances Jack mentally. While Jack tries to hype himself up, Islam sits there like someone who has trained his entire life for this exact moment. No show, no exaggeration, just that dangerous calm behind every word. I am closer to my life's goal than ever before. Jack feels it. Everyone feels it. The whole room feels it. And
Jack, Islam has laughed off the role of Volk and Craig Jones in your camp. How important was having Volk and Craig in the team, and is he underestimating your wrestling?
Yeah, it's good to have two Australians. I'm going to bring this belt back home to Australia, no doubt. And yeah, two legends of martial arts in Australia. We'll see how it goes.
And here comes the pattern again. Jack is asked whether Islam is underestimating his wrestling, and instead of answering with force, he gives a response that sounds like obligation mixed with hope. Of course, he says Volk and Craig are legends, but between the lines, he's trying to convince himself. His voice has that slightly tense tone, like he's checking every sentence internally. Does this sound strong enough? Do I sound confident? Do people buy this? That's the problem. He doesn't speak with Islam's calm. No steady gaze, no natural authority, just a we'll see how it goes attitude that leaves more questions than answers. Islam said he still feels like the champion. Jack responds with, we'll see how it goes. The last thing you want to hear from someone fighting Islam Makhachev. It sounds like he's hoping Volk and Craig Jones brought some secret formula. But deep down he knows there is no quick fix against Dagestan.
And just last one for Islam. This is the third time in your career that you're facing an Australian. What's your final message to Australian fans back home?
Australia, it's a good place. I was there, I like it, and now it's a 3-0. I will make 4.
Here comes that dry humor again, the kind Islam uses like a scalpel. He's asked for a message to Australia, and he delivers something so simple, so brutally direct, Jack probably felt his stomach drop. Australia, good place, I like it, and now it's 3-0. I will make 4, brother. That's not a message. That's a statistic with a built-in threat. No trash talk, no show, just a calm statement. I've beaten 3 Australians, you are number 4. And that hits harder than any insult. While Islam talks happily about liking Australia, Jack sits there thinking, am I really next on that list? This kind of quiet confidence hits differently. It's silent, but it lands like an uppercut to the ego.
Islam, over here. There's been a lot of speculation about you fighting Topuria next. You've said time and time again that you have to come through this fight first, but you're now sitting with a lot of contenders, so I want to ask you, who would you like to defend the title first if you were to win on Saturday?
Man, my job is just beat the people. Who is gonna be next? You can ask Dana.
And here we go again. The reporter tries pulling Islam into future matchups, contenders, Topuria talk, all the hype fighters usually love. Islam, not interested for even 1 second. My job is just beat the people. Who is going to be next? Ask Dana. That's not gimmick, not trash talk. That's pure professionalism with a touch of, I'm here to work, not write novels. Meanwhile, Jack grows quieter because he's trying to hold on to every answer. While Islam shrugs everything off like background noise. This level of focus is dangerous for anyone, especially someone already nervous. When Islam says ask Dana, Jack looks like he hopes nobody ever asks him anything again. It's psychological cat and mouse, but only one guy is playing.
Jack, we saw against Bilal you were able to block majority of his takedowns. Are you going to be able to do the same against Islam?
Yep, absolutely.
All night?
Full 25 minutes.
This is one of those moments where you instantly see Jack knows exactly what everyone is thinking. Can you really stop Islam Makhachev's takedowns? And his answer comes fast, almost too fast. Yep, absolutely, all night, full 25 minutes. You can hear instantly, that's not confidence, that's survival instinct. He says it firm, straight, no blinking, but the energy behind it, a thin, shiny coat over a mountain of nerves. Stopping Bilal's takedowns is good. But Islam isn't a normal wrestler. He's a category of his own, Dagestani gravity, and you can hear that fear between the words. Jack must say all night, even though inside he's screaming, brother, if he grabs my hip bone once, my night is over. This confident line sounds more like rebellion than belief. He tries to show he isn't rattled, but his face says, please don't ever ask me that again.
In Islam, if you have both belts at the end of the night, what are you doing to celebrate first order of business?
What if I have 2 belts?
Если у тебя будет 2 пояса в конце вечера, что ты делаешь, чтобы отпраздновать это?
Wow. Maybe all of you guys can come to Dagestan and we celebrate together. For 2-3 years.
This moment summarizes the whole power dynamic. Jack is mentally wrestling with takedowns, clinches, panic scenarios, and Islam gets asked, how will you celebrate with 2 belts? And instead of answering seriously, he drops a mischievous, what if I have 2 belts? Wow. He says it like the idea isn't hypothetical. He's playing with it, enjoying it. Then the invite is come to Dagestan, celebrate for 2-3 years. That's not just humor, that's pure self-belief. And the best part, he says it calmly, not loudly, not arrogantly, just with certainty. Jack smiles next to him, but inside he must feel, this man is already planning the after party. And I'm still trying not to think about the takedown. If most fighters think about celebrating early, like it's a bad sign. If Islam thinks about it, it's a problem. And with that, this press conference ends with one clear energy. Islam walks in as the challenger, but acts like the man who owns everything. He sits with the calm of a champion who just left his belt backstage, while Jack tries to hold himself together, yet keeps showing cracks that reveal exactly how well he knows who he's facing. On paper, the roles are obvious. Jack is the title holder, but the energy in the room, a completely different story. And if this was just a preview, the fight is going to be chaos. And trust me, whatever happens next in MMA, no one will see it coming. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more of this over-the-top UFC drama, drop a like, follow the channel, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next analysis. Because honestly, in this sport, something new explodes every week, and we're the first ones to break it down.